My name is Bob Chessia. I'm a trustee for Scituate Historical Society, and the Lawson show that we do was started by my parents years ago. My father had an uncle that worked for Thomas Lawson probably longer than anyone, so they knew all the stories. People are amazed when they hear the story about Thomas Lawson. They see the tower and maybe Lawson Park or Dreamworld and they think that was it. They don't realize that he had at one time 65 buildings, about 1,000 acres of land, several hundred employees. He probably had 200 horses, bulldogs. I think the kennel probably had close to 200 dogs at one time, a couple thousand birds, prize-winning cows. Everything he had was the best. I mean, when he entered a horse show at Madison Square Garden or Boston, he would take quite a few prizes. He had horses that never lost a competition. The same thing with his bulldogs. He'd enter bulldogs. They were his favorite dog. And they were kind of like Thomas Lawson. You either liked them or you didn't. And they would sometimes sweep. One year at Marshfield Fair, he decided he wouldn't take any prizes because all his horses won. So he deferred, and whoever came in second took first prize. He was actually the president of Marshfield Fair for a while. He spent a lot of his money there. What was unique about Thomas Lawson is he didn't believe in saving money. He believed in spending it. And he wasn't afraid to go broke. He would invest in something, he'd make millions of dollars, and the next day he'd lose it. But then he'd come back again. So he was at one time one of the 10 wealthiest citizens in the United States. He was what you would call a stock promoter. He would drive a stock up or down depending on what he wanted to do. And then he would either sell or buy and make quite a bit of money. The stock market was like the Wild West back then. It wasn't like it is today, and insider trading was basically not illegal. He was just a smart person and decided that he wanted to make a name for himself, and it was going to be making as much money as he could. His family was very poor. His father was a Civil War veteran who died of his wounds. So Thomas went as a young boy to Boston and saw a window that said boy wanted, and he got a job there. Convinced his mother that he would continue school, but he would work at Stevens Armory Company, which was, what he did was, they would have to make a payment in gold or whatever, and he would shovel gold onto a scale until the bell rang, and then they would bag it. And that's how he sort of became involved in the market, because he would get all the insider tips. And he spent money like you would not believe. As you can tell by the tower is just one facet of what he did. Yeah, Thomas Lawson got involved with Wall Street, and they cornered the copper market. And he was basically the promoter of this deal. And what happened was, when push came to shove, he got stiffed. He didn't get what he thought he should get monetarily. So then he had just written a book about the America's Cup. And it was kind of a little tell-all about why he couldn't race in the America's Cup, because he wasn't a member of the New York Yacht Club. He was a member of Hull Yacht Club, and that should be enough for the America's Cup. So someone saw that article and they said, well, everybody's magazine would like to know about this Anaconda copper deal. So he wrote articles naming names, money that was exchanged, and he was trying to break the system, which he considered the stock market with insider trading and so on and so forth. When the magazine came out, it would sell out within hours because everyone was interested. And he actually did a lot of good as far as certain businesses, the insurance companies. He sort of reformed them a little bit, but he never got to do what he wanted to do with Wall Street. And in his later years, he basically lost almost all his money. So Dreamworld was, in 1922, was auctioned off, and a lot of his artwork and books and so on and so forth was sold for pennies of what they were worth in some case. He had Audubon's first edition, the Octavio edition, Birds of America. He sold at auction for $390. I think it's worth like $10 million now. Thomas Lawson was not afraid to go broke. He always thought he would make a comeback. So, and you know, it didn't really affect him that much. He still dabbled in stock, but he just seemed to have lost his touch. He built basically this estate for his wife. And they moved in 1902. It was a summer farm. And in 1906, she passed away. And he was heartbroken. She was his whole life.